On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel executed Operation Epic Fury, a daylight decapitation strike that eliminated Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Western strategic thought assumed that removing this central figure of authority would fracture the IRGC command structure and trigger an immediate collapse of the state. Instead of collapse, this operation triggered a structural miscalculation. The strike activated a pre-planned, decentralized war of attrition, a conflict that the coalition's current military doctrine was not designed to contain. To understand why the coalition authorized such a high-risk strike, we have to look at the moral hazard created by active defense systems. By deploying hard-kill interceptors that reliably shoot down incoming threats, planners felt the cost of warfare had approached zero. This eroded the Cold War logic of mutual assured destruction, a deterrence model where certain total annihilation prevented direct major power conflict. This created a collision between two incompatible military algorithms. Washington pursued a Clausewitzian decisive battle to destroy the enemy's center of gravity, while Iran responded with an indirect approach, using strategic military deception to avoid direct engagement while exhausting the coalition's resources. The primary weapon of this indirect strategy is the War of Salvos. Iran utilizes high volumes of the Lucas drone. These low-cost, mass-produced drones overwhelm expensive air defenses. Because building offensive mass is cheaper than sustaining a defensive shield, Iran is rapidly exhausting coalition interceptor stockpiles. This turns technological superiority into a logistical liability. Iran is also leveraging global maritime chokepoints. By conducting kinetic strikes on targets like the tanker Skylight, Tehran holds 20% of the global oil supply hostage, forcing a systemic economic crisis rather than fighting the U.S. Navy on the high seas. An unprecedented Israeli cyber attack plunged Iranian internet connectivity to 4%, aiming to sever communications for the IRGC, Iran's elite military branch. But this decapitation triggered decentralized blowback. Sophisticated Iranian APT hacking groups are now executing mass data exfiltrations against Israeli and Gulf state infrastructure. These hostilities have spilled over the borders of the conflict, directly targeting the digital nodes and private financial entities that facilitate global trade. The coalition's largest blind spot is the economic resilience provided by Beijing. China acts as the ultimate geostrategic safety net for the Iranian state, a relationship built on 2 millennia of historical trade. In 2021, the nations signed a strategic partnership, exchanging Iranian oil for $400 billion in infrastructure through the BRI. The Belt and Road Initiative is China's global strategy to build trade routes connecting Asia, Europe, and Africa. By providing a continuous economic floor, Beijing limits the effectiveness of Western pressure, allowing the Iranian state to sustain operations despite intense international sanctions. This resilience debunks the victory school assumption that removing the supreme leader would lead the Iranian people to usher in a pro-Western democracy. The more likely outcome is the rise of IRGCistan, a hyper-militarized state where the Revolutionary Guards drop their clerical facade and assume absolute control, utilizing Chinese capital to maintain their grip while escalating regional instability. The belief that active defense systems allowed for a consequence-free decapitation strike was a lethal miscalculation of the modern security dilemma. The coalition is now trapped in a multi-domain war of attrition against a decentralized adversary, a conflict fully underwritten by the economic gravity of the Sino-Russian axis.